last example I would like to highlight in this presentation is the Fantasy Impromptu by Frederick Chopin. We all know that it is, the whole A section is just 4 against 3. So the accompaniment is... slower tempo. And then the right hand, I use the approach, what I call the listening approach. So the first thing you do is you play it for students. I have them go on YouTube, listen, listen, listen. They learn hands alone. That's very imperative. In fact, they pretty much memorize hands alone if they're practicing well, and that's an assignment also. And then, the first 4 pages are 4 against 3. When I teach this, using the listening approach, sometimes this is what comes back. And I'll just start on where the hands come together. And the first time I taught it and that was happening, I thought, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? So, and of course you talk about getting the 4/16 notes are even, the triplets are even, and everything I did wasn't working. I have charted Fantasy Impromptu, the first 4 measures. It's in 4/4, and each measure is, it's in 4/4, and each beat of the 4/4 equals 12, and so each beat is essentially in the way I've notated, it's 3 measures. So this is how we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Actually will have them with the metronome. And we will do that. I get the metronome faster and faster. So once we can get probably to 180. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So on and so forth. Once they can do that, then I show them what the notation, once they can do that, I will show them what the notation would look like if it was in 2/4. And they're counting, I first have them count it 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So on and so forth. And then I will have them 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. So they're looking at this, they're clicking the quarter note, but they're counting the 8th notes. I also have them say the pass the golden butter, so it's pass the golden butter, pass the golden butter, pass the golden butter. And then we move it up, pass the golden butter. So on and so forth. We keep moving it up, so on and so forth, and then that seems kind of bumpy, but actually the rhythm is correct, and it is a way for them to practice very slowly and have the rhythm be exact and it works. At this point, they are pretty much saying, pass the golden butter. Because you can't say the other, you can't count to 12 that fast. 1, 2, 3. Pass the golden butter. Pass the golden butter. And then that goes on. So then I'll get it up faster. Faster. Pass the golden butter. Faster. And then you can't quite, then it gets too fast and you can't do the pass the golden butter. So when we get this fast, and again I'm clicking each left-hand note, then you have to go back to that listening and let them. Then all the while that they're doing this little rhythm sheet, I have them practicing left hand alone, right hand alone. When we get this fast, then I will have them go. They do a beat. And then. So you do one beat to the next beat. Then you can do 2 beats and 2 beats, and then you can do an entire measure. Again, the rhythm sheets with pass the golden butter and all the different ways of notating it and practicing slowly and working up with the metronome, all of this will help the student feel the most minute part of the rhythm, and it really cleans it up. And anytime I do these rhythm sheets with a student who is working on Fantasy Impromptu, I have a student who just finished it. She really struggled with the, and we couldn't get the left hand in. She does everything I tell her. She's one of those kind of students. So I took her through this for many, many weeks, through these rhythm sheets, and she was past the golden, and she was kind of not sure that it was going to work, but I told her, I said, just trust me, we'll do this. And all the while, she would do the rhythm sheets, and then she was practicing each hand, and we were getting that faster and faster and more perfect. And then she was fitting on the rhythm sheets, past the golden butter, and got it faster and faster. And then at some point, we put the rhythm sheet away and let her do still hands alone and then the hands together, and it got better and better, and her rhythm now is just wonderful. So it was a many week process. Again, if they kind of slide backward and that rhythm isn't quite working, and it can be either the right or the left hand that kind of slides back, then I take them through that process. And if you do the process the second time, they're going to go really quickly through it. All the minute parts of the cross rhythm make much more sense. So I wish I had 10 hours. Again, I did a summary for you wonderful teachers on what I do, which can take weeks and weeks for some students, just so that they understand and feel it, and it sounds wonderful. My listening approach, which I use with most students, is the first thing we do is do a lot of listening. And so I will have them listen on YouTube, and I play it for them, and we will go from there. And then I have them learn that part hands alone they should be working on hands alone anyway. We do that, hands alone, and then we isolate where the cross rhythm is, and I will have them isolate the beat of the cross rhythm, and I gave some examples today where there's just one beat of cross rhythm, so we'll do that. If there are 3 beats of cross rhythm, I will have them do that. So we isolate the beat or the cross rhythm, then we play it in context, in a measure, and then at some point I have them try their hands together. They've been listening, they've isolated the beats, they do each hand alone, and then they tried the hands together. And that can be disconcerting. Again, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, I had a lot of tears during those first couple of weeks, but I did do the cross rhythm hundreds of times, and at some point it started to fit. It was almost accidental. I liken it to riding a bike. A child will get on that bike trying to do the two-wheeler, and it's scary, and they go for a second or two, and then they fall, and they get up. I remember my second child, when he taught himself to ride a bike, and I watched him, and he would just get on, and they would go a few feet and fall. Then he would get on again, go a few feet and fall, and get on again and go a few feet and fall. And he just did it. He was persistent and did it until one day, there it was, and he felt it. And I think the same thing can happen with cross rhythms. You do it, and you do it, and you do it, and we fall, it doesn't work, and we keep doing it, and we're persistent and consistent in doing it, and then it fits together. And that will work for a lot of students. So again, you just have to make it fit, and making the triplet even, and sometimes it's the duplet that needs to be even. And we use a lot of repetition. And so that's the listening approach. The other approach, which I call an alternate approach, it's a mathematical, notational approach, if you will, and using rhythm words. We've done that with several examples today, and so the first thing I do in each one is explain the math, whether it's 3 against 2 is, so the 3 times 2 is 6, or 2 times 3 is 6, or then if we go to 4 against 3 or 3 against 4, we do that, 4 against 3, 4 times 3 is 12, and then I have all these rhythm sheets where I show how it works and how it fits, and then work on counting it and adding rhythm words if possible, and go from there. And then I love using the different notations to help them feel the minute detail of 3 against 2, 2 against 3, 4 against 3, or 3 against 4. Again, I wish I had more time, but my advice to teachers and students is to be consistent and try and try and try and try and keep doing it, and at some point it really does fit together. Cross rhythms are just a wonderful part of music. It just adds that, whatever you call it, it just adds sugar and spice to phrases, and so I love teaching them. And I learned a long time ago that if I was patient and the student was patient and we went through this process, then the end product and the prize, if you will, at the end is just wonderful piano playing. Again, if you have any questions, please contact me. My email is allred@dixie.edu, and I welcome questions and helps, and I'm glad to give tips to anyone who would like it. So go out there and do it. Thank you for being a great audience, and till the next time. Thank you.